What's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special episode of the Lipstick Nerds podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Powell, and joining me today are my fabulous co-hosts, Amanda Kane.
Hey, everybody.
Miranda Sanchez.
Hi, I missed you all.
We all missed everybody. It's been a long time.
It's been time.
And our fantastic returning guest for her second episode, Taryn Beach.
Oh, it's good to be back. Actually, I should say, in the immortal words of Tony Stark. Oh, it's good to be back. Did you miss me? I missed you.
We did. We missed all of each other. We've been on hiatus for like 3 weeks. All of us have been super busy.
Forever.
Yeah, and then you haven't been on in a long time, and so it's a good, nice little reunion tonight. It's nice to be back. So this episode of Lipstick Nerds is going to be out of our usual conversation topics. We are here tonight to help a very special friend, Miss Taryn herself, and hopefully help some other people out there maybe going through similar problems. So Taryn has a story that many of you might not know, and some of you probably already know, and she's here to talk about it. So, Taryn, go ahead. Let them all know why we're here.
Well, thanks. Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome.
As some of you may or may not know, I've been battling with my transgender, and two, I've been battling trying to get my sexual reassignment surgery, or SRS, which is basically like genital reconstruction, approved and covered through my work, but they're being big douchebags about it. My employer is basically saying that it's an excluded benefit, and so that thus it's not covered at all. And so now I have to come up with like $16,000 in order to pay for it out of my own pocket, because that's pretty much how much it costs. And I'm also on a timetable because my endocrinologist gave me like 2 years from the start of my hormone replacement therapy to kind of get that going, and so now I'm like kind of up against it. To bring you up to speed as to where I am right now, this very moment, I have a GoFundMe page that I've started. I've got a lot of support, but I haven't, like, it's kind of run out of steam a little bit, but that's not anyone's fault. It just is. I'm also sending in the $1,000 like deposit check to the surgeon like this week, and so that way I can get it scheduled, and hopefully I'll be able to get it done maybe around like the middle of next year, if not sooner, but I doubt it. It's probably going to be around this time next year that I'm going to be able to get it done, but that's sort of where I am right now, and thankfully these ladies have been nice enough to kind of invite me on, and we're actually going to talk a lot about what it's like to be transgendered, and a lot of other things, and if you guys have questions, please send them to me. I'll try my best to answer them.
Yeah, tweet them in to us. If you're watching the show live, tweet us at Lipstick Nerds. And if we get anything, we'll bring it up. So I want to
email
start
open too. So
yeah, and our email lipsticknerdsmlg@gmail.com. So we'll be checking that, and we have a few questions. Thank you to those who sent questions. But first, I want to go through like Taryn's background and talk about that. So what actually I didn't know until I read your blog post is about your genes, actually.
Oh,
like I didn't,
right,
yeah,
right.
I didn't know that background part of it. I just didn't know. So that's something that I thought was interesting. So if you want to tell them about that.
Right. So, well, this is, it's like, so I suffer from a genetic condition called Klinefelter syndrome, but that's completely, I would say, irrelevant, or it's just something that's sort of added on to my being transgender. Basically, Klinefelter syndrome is the opposite of XY. Basically, I have an extra chromosome. It's like, it's not Down syndrome, but it's sort of like, if you think about Down syndrome and the fact that they have like an extra chromosome, that's exactly the way it is for me, except the fact that
it's a different chromosome, right?
Yeah, it's a different chromosome and a different karyotype, and basically I have, instead of being XY like a normal male, or XX like a normal female, I'm XXY. So I have an extra X chromosome, and that's called Klinefelter syndrome. So basically, I have when I grew up, like as I was growing up, like I never was able to put like a lot of muscle on my arms and stuff, like upper body. Like I was able to get sort of like strong for my size, but like I've always been like on the shorter side, on like half an inch south of 5'6". I've always been like about 130, 140 pounds. like since about the age I was 18, and gone. Yeah, that's like that was like it for me. And then so no one ever told me this. Now, so, like, my parents did like an amniocentesis, which is like when you're in the womb, they stick a big needle like through your mom's like belly button essentially, and then they draw fluid out of like the amniotic sac. From that fluid, they can basically tell everything about you, like your genetic makeup. Like they usually do it like for older women that are having kids to test to make sure that the kid doesn't have Down syndrome. That's why they did it. But they were able to like sex me and everything. You know, they were like, oh, so you're gonna have a boy, blah 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 blah, all that stuff. And so yeah, so like it was like was it this past year? Oh no, it was like I think it was about a year ago that I actually finally found out that I have Klinefelter syndrome. Like my parents had like mentioned something about I don't know, something stupid that I can't remember about that, and it was just like, okay, well, you know, like I finally decided like I'm just gonna find out because it was like bugging the crap out of me, and I was just like, what the heck's going, you know, like what is up with like the whole like and things that you'd like mentioned, like I was just like, because I think my mom one time like after, God, this is kind of going off the rails, like when I first came out to
nerds, we go off the rails a lot. You're fine.
Yeah.
So like when I came out to my parents, like we'll get to that, but there was a time when she's like, we thought you were gonna be a girl or something like that. She made some comment in passing, and like I just was like, well, whatever. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, but whatever. And so I brought that back up, but this time it was to my dad, and I was just like, what the hell was that all about? And he's like, oh well, you have like an extra chromosome, and like so I already knew, like I knew like I don't have Down syndrome, like that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, well, what the hell could it be? I was just like, what kind of chromosome is this? Like, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, yeah, there's something about like an extra sex chromosome or something. And so immediately I was just like, I'm either XXY or I'm XYY, and like I know that like XXY is considered like super males or whatever. Like I think it's like something like half of the population in prisons are like XYY. It's just really weird. They call them like super males or something. And so I was just like, I have to be XY, and because there's a lot of things like growing up where I was just like, why the hell like can't I like why do I look so like not like super like I mean I know I'm like half Japanese, but it's just like this doesn't make any sense. Why like I can't put on like a lot of muscle? Why like bulking up is hard? I remember I was in like an anthropology class one day, and we were watching this video on like some of the differences between like men and women and stuff like that, and it was like they were talking about how like women can cross their legs, like because you know like okay, so there's like ankle over knee or knee over knee are basically the two most popular ways like people basically cross their legs. So I was just like then they talked about like there's one way though that women can cross their legs that men can't, and that's knee over knee, and then they like the leg that's over, you take your foot and you wrap it under the calf of the bottom leg.
That's how I sit normally.
Is it, Amanda? Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's really bad for your back.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I don't know what that has to do with your back, but sure, I'll take your word for it.
It's the way that your hips are adjusted, yeah, and it's pulling on different areas, and it just pulls your spine, so if you do it for a long time, it's just not very good. It's like popping your knuckles. Like, now it may feel great, and it actually may, you know, be beneficial, but later on, it's not going to be too pretty.
Yeah. Random facts.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway. Medical issue.
It's okay.
So you're from anthropology.
Yeah, so like I didn't do it in the class because I mean, God forbid, like what if I was able to do it in the class, like in someone saw?
Oh.
No.
Like, which comes with being in high school to begin with, right? Like you're growing, like things are changing, hair's coming out of places where you never like. There's so much like on your face. It's a catastrophe usually. So, all like with all the things. And like my seated shit where I'm just, oh my god, it's okay. Later on though, like I tried and I could do it, and I'm like, why the fuck can't I do this? Like I don't understand. Well, plus XY, my hips are a little bit wider than a normal dude's. Yeah, there's like all kinds of like it basically softens like and feminizes a lot of like secondary male characteristics. So yeah, long roundabout way of getting around to like answering that question. I'm sorry, but yeah, there you go.
No, that's perfect. And I mean, that has to be slightly easier. I mean, in the switching over aspect, because I mean, you have all a lot of feminine features anyway. It's got to be a lot easier to be able to just, take those feminine features and run with it rather than want to change your masculine features.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I mean, of course, okay. I know a lot because I read your blog. So when you were growing up, you were brought up Catholic, right?
Yep. Catholic guilt for the win.
Right. So you said that. Oh, well,
I
she's not there
know.
anymore. Well, that self high five must have just smacked her out real quick. We'll get her back.
In the meantime,
sorry. Oh, there we go.
Let's come back. Internet problems.
Oh my goodness, we can't get rid of them, right?
Nope. And then I just noticed I'm crossing my legs. I'm like, no. So how about Destiny?
Right? How about that Destiny, guys? Yeah.
No, I still haven't even played it. Play someday.
One of these days. Like how I still haven't played Rust.
Ugh. Oh my gosh, next time we all start playing Rust, you are playing with me, Nikki.
I need, if my computer will let me, we'll see. Just like how I can't play The Sims because it's on not stupid Mac yet. Done.
Okay,
yeah.
so this is me being naive. I pre-ordered The Sims. I was like, yeah, The Sims 4 is going to be awesome. I'm going to go pick it up on release day. I get there, I'm like, fuck, I have a Mac. It's not going to work.
See, at least I looked it up.
Oh,
Somebody told me, they were like, you can't play it on Mac, and I was like, you're lying to me, because I know you can play the other ones on Mac, and they're like, no, at first it's just PC. Like, they may release Mac later, but it's only PC now. No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Wrong.
The girls wouldn't have told me this if I couldn't play, because I know one of them has a Mac. Like, I have to be able to play with them.
That'd be me, and I still
Yes.
believe that I could play it on a Mac.
You got a Mac first.
God damn
You
it.
have to wait. Oh no.
You know what? I wasn't a gamer.
It's okay. I mean,
I think I was just so excited for it, I didn't think about it. I was just
Oh,
like, yeah,
yeah.
it's going to be awesome, and then I'm like, shit.
I didn't
Right.
want to research it because I was so excited about it. I'm like, if I disappoint myself, I'm going to be very angry.
I think also with that, such a big game, you kind of figure it'd come out on Mac at the same time. I feel
Right.
like they used to do that. I don't even know. I mean,
I
feel like
swear
that's an
the
obvious
thing
thing.
came out at the same time.
Yeah, but then I remembered that the newest SimCity didn't come out at the same time for Mac and PC. Like, Mac came out like quite a few months after. So you guys might be waiting for a little bit to get The Sims.
I kind of
sorry.
just want to buy 3 and play 3 until 4 comes out because I really want to play it. Oh, yeah, are you back?
Yeah, I've never had this many problems with Google Hangout before. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We start talking about Destiny and then The Sims. So we're okay.
Okay, so we're
We're filling in. We
We
have
got
horrible
numbers.
episodes. I don't know why people listen to us. Like, we have technical problems. We, like, have dead space. We're a big old
Mother
cluster of just stuff. Okay, so we're talking about, so we're talking about you grew up Catholic.
yes.
Catholic guilt, yeah. So how was that? Like, tell them, because I know. Like, how was that, like, coming out to your parents and, like, talking to them about that?
Oh yeah, that was difficult. Like there was a lot of shame in growing up. Like so, growing up trans. Like I knew probably like when I was like I think maybe 4. I knew I had a good idea that like I was not like a boy. Like I remember like hating like having a penis at times, which I guess is pretty much par for the course for if you're in a situation like and so I had some opportunities, not many. There were some times where I felt like telling someone, but there was so much like shame and guilt associated with with that like I never did until like way later, like when I was graduated from high school. I don't know how that would have like changed. That would have like significantly changed my life in different ways though. So I'm not really sure. How that would, how my life would have been different. It'd just be, I don't know. I don't even know how they would have taken it back. So my current wife, Jennifer, she was like the first one I ever told, and so she's always been like someone that's really been supportive of me, and always like been sort of a cheerleader in getting me to the person that she like knew I could be, and that I kind of I guess thought I could be, but was too scared to for like
So
the longest time.
You met her when you were like identifying as a female or as a male?
I was still like trying to
pretend to be a guy.
When I first met her, yeah, pretending to be a guy, like because I went through that phase, like in high school. I spent like a lot of time trying to basically be like the not dudeliest dude, but I mean like a guy's guy. Like I tried joining the football team. Like I did like we had to have like PE credits and stuff like that, so I did like weightlifting to try to like bulk up and stuff, and yeah, like I was like really deep in the closet, so it wasn't until later, but she like when I was finally ready to kind of just be like I'm ready to like at least admit to myself like what was going on with me, and kind of go from there and start dealing with it instead of just like running from it like I was like my entire freaking life. That's sort of when that's kind of where I started. Is I told her first, and then from there I told she sent me like a care package because oh my god, like I was way too freaking scared to ever tell anyone, or rather not to tell anyone besides that, like go out and buy clothes. Like oh my god, I would have freaking died. Like just like oh my god, my face would have been like a tomato if I had like gone out and just at that time like to buy clothes. Now I go and buy clothes and I don't have a problem, so it's like whatever. But like it was insane. So she sent me a care package of stuff that she thought would be my size, so like I had things. Well, my mom
that's
being like
so cute.
Right, isn't it?
That's adorable. I love it.
My mom being like a nosy freaking Nell, she goes and like starts digging through my stuff, like because I had it like in this box, 'cause I don't know, like and so she got into the box, and I guess her and my dad were talking, 'cause she told my dad like, oh, like there's like the box that was from Jen is like full of girls' clothes, like blah 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 blah, and so they were like wondering, I guess, am I gay or whatever, and then so I had like the confrontation speech, because my sister ended up telling me, my younger sister, like, oh, they know what's in the box, like mom went through it, and I was just like, what the fuck, and so like I freaked out, right, because I was just like, this is fucked up, like. And so from there, like, that's where like things just like I talked to her about it, and she was just like, I wish you were gay because then it wouldn't be as hard. I was just like, that's cool, I guess. My dad, like when I first told him, he wasn't very receptive. He was just like, oh my god. But I mean, and I've talked to other people about this. They think like it comes from a place of love, because they are still rather supportive. I've had a talk with Jen about this, but I think, and I mean, this is like stuff that you have to deal with, like whether you're gay, trans, whatever. Like when you tell your parents like stuff like this, they're either going to be like really accepting or they're going to be like in limbo, like my parents I think are, where they're sort of like I think where they're in a holding pattern still, where they're like major faith, like maybe Brad's gonna come back. He's gonna just realize that this is not for him, and
Yeah. That's so funny to hear like your boy name, because I totally don't even like see that at all.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, right. Like,
So,
I mean, I met you at 300, and I'm like, oh, cool chick, yeah, likes Harley Quinn, likes whiskey sours, yeah, we're gonna be great friends. And then, yeah, I don't even know who this Brad is. Like, you are
Right.
Taryn to us, like us. I assume, Miranda and Amanda agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just funny to hear like your man name. So.
yeah, so
I was supposed to be a Jordan if I was a boy, but I'm not. So.
it's not. But see, that's not even a bad. Like I have a niece named Jordan, so I mean it's kind of unisex, so it's alright. But yeah. So like I think that's where they are right now. I don't think they fully accepted like they still. And I mean like I came out to them, just like told them like I didn't start until like 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago. But I mean. Like I've been slowly coming out to people like for a long time. I just like had this like problem of like telling people about it and like being still like ashamed of it and like I had like this. Go ahead.
That's funny because I don't see that from you. You are such a confident person that I just expect you to be like, yeah, this is me. Like whatever, deal with it. You don't like it, I don't really care. So it's interesting to hear you say that because I just don't see that from you. I see you as such like an open, confident person that, so that's not what you don't exude like shyness or
it took me so long to get there. Yeah.
Well.
I hated. Well, I look back and I hate who I used to be, but like when I was so depressed and like self-loathing that like I never got suicidal. I know that people that are trans sometimes like they get that low. I close to that. Like never really had like the balls to or guts maybe would be better. I never had like the guts to like actually take like a life.
I like balls. That's fitting.
But
well, it's like I mean. People should look at you and like there are people that regardless if there's people in their lives at this point, like there are people out there that will love them for who they are and will accept them. Like your whole life isn't about just those people around you. Like you can change that, and if you want to change, like be who you want to be, and at least you've taken that initiative to be who you want to be, and the people around you have been accepting or tried to be accepting, and that's a great like success story so far. And just hope for those people out there that think about suicide that they look at you and know that there are people out there that will love you regardless of who you are, what you look like, and what you want to be.
Definitely, right? Yeah, because I mean, I was so like ashamed of like who I was. I was so afraid of like who I was, what I was, that like I felt like so powerless to be able to do something about it. That like I was just sort of in this state where I didn't care, I didn't give a shit about me. Like if like I prayed or at least wished that like going to work or doing something that like I would get either like run over and killed or like something really like passive. But like if I woke up like if I didn't wake up the next day, like if I just went to sleep and I never woke up again, like I would have been super cool with that. Now like it's way different. Like you said, like now you see like this person is super confident. Well, it took me like so long to get there. Oh my god, like it's been.
Yeah, but you are there, and that's fantastic, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I want people like if anyone is like watching this, God, I hope there's at least somebody watching this.
There are actually quite a few people watching this.
That's awesome. If there are people that are watching this that are like at all like uncomfortable with who they are, or like me, where like you think you might be transgender, like know that you can do it. Like if you put your mind to it and you bite the and you just kind of are willing to kind of say fuck you if you can't accept who I am. I'm just going to start living for me. If you are able to make that sort of promise to yourself, oh my God, your life will change so dramatically. Like, I am on this road of like self-healing and basically accepting of who I am and learning to love me. And that has been so hard, but it's also been so rewarding because like I can finally look in the mirror without wanting to just scream every time I look in the mirror, and actually like can see like what I've always sort of wanted to see. Like I can actually like see myself in the mirror and think that I kind of look attractive, that I don't hate everything that's looking back at me in the mirror, and that's huge. Like I can take pictures of myself and not hate every single one of them. I like finally sort of feel comfortable with myself. And I mean, these are like things that I never ever thought like I'd be able to experience. Like I always thought I was just gonna be like this miserable like exist in this miserable existence, just hating everything about my life and stuff, and just like just super disappointed and just wanting it to end. And now like there's like positives in my life. I mean, I traded in some problems for some new ones, but like it's definitely worth it. Like, oh my God, like I look at and like see that thing where I think back now and I'm just like, if I had done this earlier. But you can't like, and if you're someone that's waited a long time too, like don't beat yourself up over like time that you've lost. Just make the most of the time that you still have left, and just try to I mean, as far as I know, you only get one shot at this thing called life, this ride, and so you might as well like try to be happy while you're going through it.
Yep, definitely. I'm glad
Yeah.
you were touching on that whole, just be who you are for you. Like, you don't have to please everybody around you. And if you end up doing that, that's cool. And if people are, like, tearing you down for that, then definitely put yourself around different people. Because, like Nikki was saying,
Absolutely.
everyone will accept you for who you are.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I've had people that have sort of reached out to me directly after some of the things I've written, which has been really cool. And I try to be like as supportive of them as possible, and letting them know, like, if they need to talk to no expert on anything, but shit, if there's something, if I can answer a question that might help like someone on their journey or something, of self-discovery and happiness, and like I'm so happy to do so. Like, so yeah, I try to make myself available, and I think people have like told me like, oh wow, you're really confident, and you're like, you're super open about it, and I kind of just look at it as like trying to be an ambassador of transgendered people, I guess, and just we're normal, ish, and like.
But who's really normal? So.
Right. I was say we're all normal-ish.
Normal, right? So,
What
yeah.
kind of normal?
You breathe air, you're normal, dude. You're good.
Right. So yeah, like, and just if I can, I don't know, if I could help like one person, like try to basically find themselves, I think that's really awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think it's about the person just trying to find themselves. Like, even if you've touched someone that can understand something that someone they love is going through,
Definitely.
then I mean, yeah, that's great. Then you can help them get through that and help them help that person. So, I mean, because it's not just about the transgendered person, it's about their family and like their friends and acceptance and, help and being there and stuff. So that's great. I love that you do that. I think it's awesome. So before we jump into our questions, Miranda and Amanda, do you guys have any questions that you want to like ask first before we get into these other ones?
Not particularly. I think we had a lot of really good questions. So.
Yeah, I want to tackle the questions we have first.
Awesome. Okay, so we got 2 very awesome emails. Let me get them real quick. So Sean emailed us about 2 weeks ago, and he said, was it a relief to finally figure out who you are and leave the machismo behind? So I'm assuming he means like manliness, machismo, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I touched on earlier, I really, really, really tried to be a guy, and I was like super closeted, and that kind of turned me into. And I admit this in the blog post I put up, and like I'm not at all like proud of this at all, but like I be a bit of a homophobe and a really big douchebag, and I just like look back and I'm just like, oh my god, like how could you be like that? But I kind of sort of, I mean, there's no excuse for like how I acted back then. Like I didn't beat anybody up. I mean, look at me. I'm not able really to beat. Yeah, like I mean, there's no excuse for it, but it's pretty much par for the course. I feel like for people that are really closeted, usually the dogs that bark the loudest are, you know, those that have like kind of an axe to grind with that because of like self-loathing and stuff. And so once I kind of came to, you know, like found some peace in it, I was able to sort of like move on and start healing and stuff, and I really did leave all of that stupid bullshit behind, like the machismo nonsense and like trying to be like something I'm not. I totally left that behind, and since then I've been like infinitely happier and been able to kind of let go of just trying to be a guy. I mean, there are things like I'm giving up like male privilege and stuff like that, but like, you know, whatever. I'd rather be happy than like have some bullshit privilege that hopefully will eventually go away in my lifetime anyway. So whatever.
I mean, you do like technical. I mean, you could say it's guy things, but I do them too. Like, you know, you eat hot wings and you watch racing and you video game. I mean, there's those things that are like technically like people.
I'm a super I'm a super tomboy, definitely.
Yeah. So it's like you haven't just like jumped over and are wearing, you know, high heels and sundresses all day and making tea. Like you're not. You know, you do normal things just that people do.
Right.
Like you're not, yeah. So you're not like giving up everything, but you're changing things.
Yeah, I definitely still I still have my interests. Like what's funny, right, is when I started hormone replacement therapy and I got on estrogen, like it was really weird. Misogynistic jokes. Like I know like some of you probably listen to the Comedy Button. I can't listen to that show anymore. I stopped
Really?
listening entirely. Yeah, they're like
I love it.
they are at times like really, really misogynistic with their jokes, and it bugged the shit out of me. I could not stand it. But rather than like, you know, well, this goes to another thing, but like rather than like, you know, rail on them online or whatever, I just stopped listening. And I don't hold like anyone else that listens to them like, I'm like, oh, you should stop listening. I'm not on that trip. But I just stopped listening because it bugged me. And like before, especially before I was on hormones, it would not have bothered me probably like in the slightest. But things like really change a lot. Like things that you wouldn't even expect to change when you're on hormones. Like it's so weird, and like I immediately could empathize, actually sympathize with every single woman I've ever met now, because like that first month on hormones was rough as all get out. Like, oh my god, like I was through a pretty stressful time because like I was laid off from my job, and then like we were able to come back though in a position, but like so. Like we're going through like this training class and stuff, and I'm on hormones, and like things are kind of like I'm just going through this day just like pissed the fuck off, like, and I don't even know why. I'm just like I don't even know.
Welcome to being a woman.
And that's making me even more. I know.
The added hormones, they're great.
It is straight the hormones. You're either super pissed or super happy or like crying over everything. It's not fair.
I feel like hormones are annoying because like even that happens with like when women start birth control, you get different kinds of hormones and different it's like regulated in different ways. So you go through that kind of feeling of, hey, here's a bunch of things that you're not used to. So and I restarted like different birth control. Too much information, I don't know. But yeah, and I totally get what you're saying because that just happened and I was just like, okay. I'm really moody right now. I gotta get myself under control. I understand that this is coming from this. It's like really
like
frustrating.
the pills are more likely to make you super just like emotional and angry and sad all at the same time. Like they're the angering ones, and then the shot will make you like just cry over everything, and then like the ring will just make you bloat, and it's just every single one of them has all these different hormones that make you do different things, and if you switch between them, I've seen it happen. Like people just they go out of whack.
It's so funny.
Nursing
Nursing
over here.
Yay, nurse!
Nursing 101.
Yay.
I passed my boards. Just a little insert in there, so I'm official. Anyway, back to hormones and Taryn.
Yeah, so I was just like, I was just going through this day just like so mad, and then like I didn't even know why I was mad. Like I kind of knew, but you know I was just like it's gotta be the hormones. But like I was like, what's fucking me? Why am I so pissed off? And that was just like I was like stuck in like this vicious circle of just like hate, where I was just and then like I had a friend like who was just like oh what's wrong? And I was just like nothing, just leave me alone. I was just like don't just nothing. Like I'm not gonna like, cause going into it's not gonna help anything. Like I was just like I gotta like let this pass. I was like I'm not gonna say anything. They're like you're like really keeping yourself. I'm like it's cool, cause like the last thing I want to do is start like railing on them for something like they had no like they didn't even do anything. It's just like well fuck you or like something like just absolutely ridiculous. And I was just like oh my god. I was just like I sympathize with everyone.
Sounds like a normal Tuesday.
Yeah. I was just like. I was just like, I looked at women just like silently, and I was like, I know your struggle.
Great. So he also wants to know, how do you think having lived with masculine gender expectations informs you as a woman?
I mean, well, going through it, like, I know how hard this whole, like, be a man bullshit really is on like the entire like male population. Like what the fuck is that? Like I don't want to get like super sidebarred on that, but like that is some like for real like some bullshit. Like there are like these crazy expectations that men are supposed to have, like that are put on them just for. And I mean they have a lot of. I mean let's not get it twisted. I mean they get paid more than women do. They're in more jobs and like there are a lot of still like male centric industries. But like just as women are maybe not so much into things like guns, motorsports, and other things like that, kind of like even though I am whatever, that's whatever, because a lot of people like our age and older were basically oh you're a girl, here's a Barbie, instead of kind of letting the kid find out what they're interested in. Men also suffer from that same thing because I mean like you look at fashion designers like 10 years ago, right? The stereotypical answer would be like, oh, he's gay if he's into fashion or something like that, right? Which is totally ridiculous. But it's like there are like these stereotypes of men that we have that, slowly, eventually, I think as we have like people that are raising more gender neutral kids, I think eventually we'll have like this proliferation of men that are able to be sensitive, and this like the machismo, which is like a cultural thing, especially in like I'm pretty sure Miranda probably knows like a lot of Latino men. It's like they suffer from this because it's like a cultural thing where it's either like super macho or like uber feminine. Like it's kind of sometimes hard to find like people that are in between of those two, which is just really 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 weird. But I don't know, it just is what it is. But there are other cultures that do that too, like, so I don't know. It's hopefully like it goes away though. It's going slowly, but I'd like it kind of go away because it's kind of unfair.
Yeah, it's kind of like whenever I was growing up, my parents were pretty gender neutral with our toys. Like I had one of my favorite toys was a dump truck. Like I had this big old yellow dump truck that I played with all the time.
Me too.
And, yeah,
I loaded it with dirt and Barbies and played with all of them.
Yeah, and my parents really play video games, and I watch sports with my dad. It's just this weird thing that our society has going. It's like pink means women, blue is for little boys. Like like pink is just for little girls.
But I like that
really. Yeah, and you can like pink. It's and that's kind of a thing that I fought with when I was growing up too. Is just like I knew that pink meant you're super feminine, like all this other stuff. So I like hated pink. I was like, I have to like red, and that's it. Like, don't give me any pink clothes. Don't give me any pink anything, because I was always fighting really hard to be accepted within like my friends that were guys, because I just like video games, and so I didn't have very many friends who were girls who liked the same things as me. So I felt like that a lot of us that were into those sort of boy things fought really hard to be tomboys and kind of suppressed other things that we liked in order to be accepted into that group. And so I think we're seeing at least a few more generations coming up that don't have those expectations. Like I know my little sister and her friends who are like 5 years younger than me, like all of their friends play video games. It's not a big thing. It's not, oh my gosh, like, oh, there's a girl. It's like, oh yeah, me and my other friends, you know, we all just play video games together. It's not a big deal. Like it's kind of getting to that point. It's slowly but surely. And so gender roles and stuff are dumb.
They really
I mean, I
are.
was an only child, so it's like my mom would buy me Barbies and my dad would buy me the dump trucks, and my mom would take me shopping and my dad would have me help him scale fish, and, you know, he'd take me fishing and my mom would take me to the movie or, you know, whatever. Like, I had the best of both worlds and I picked what I wanted, and I turned out a lot more feminine than I did masculine, but I still like to, you know, go mudding and go camping and play video games and, you know, eat beer and hot wings and whatever. So it's just like the mix of both those worlds. Like, you can do whatever you want. There's nothing that's like specifically male or female except for wearing a bra or peeing at a urinal. Like, I mean,
I think that'd be a little bit, peeing in your will be a little bit of a challenge, I think.
I've seen, okay, so they make these things.
Oh,
They're
God.
disgusting. Okay, they're super funny. I saw them online one time. They're a cup for a woman that's like a spout, so you can pee in the woods.
A
And it,
sheepy?
Is that what it's called? It's like a sheepy or something like that?
I think that's what it's called, yeah.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that's what it's called, a sheepy. Yeah.
Yeah, shiwi. There we go. So, it's like a cup on your kuka, like, and it's silicone. It's like a funnel that like contours to your womanly areas, and it allows you to pee like a dude in the woods. And I'm like, that is really smart for chicks that go hunting, but that is not something I would ever want for myself. That is not okay. Really funny though. So yeah, women can pee at urinals now, so suck it. So, second to last question from Sean. He wants to know if there's any parts of the male privilege that you miss.
Not really. Not really. I mean, I don't know if I've been on this ride like long enough to miss any male privilege. You know what? I tell you what. I have had to put myself through a crash course in understanding that I'm way like 1,000% more than I ever was at risk of being sexually assaulted, which is like a real thing for women like every day, which as a male, like, you don't have, like, you can walk around at night at like all hours and totally not worry about like anything, because who the hell, like, you know, for a girl, though, no, cannot. You need to be aware of your surroundings. You need to have, like, if you're like walking your car alone at night, you should probably have them held in your hands so that you can use them as a weapon. Like, it's fucking crazy. And like, I find myself like having to remind myself, like, you need to like be more careful when you're going out and stuff. And like, you know, like if guys start coming up to me trying to talk to me and stuff and like hit on me or whatever, which I'm still like, I'm not at all used to that either. That is like a fucking trip every freaking time. Like, it's flattering, yes, but like, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not at all used to that. So like, that's a thing I have to get used to. And then also the fact that like, I'll like do stuff and totally be sometimes oblivious to my surroundings, and then I'll realize, oh wait, like, you are like, so if there's one thing I miss about, like, if there's one male privilege that I miss, it's that I could just be kind of like super carefree, go out, not have to worry about some asshole roofing my drink and stuff like that. Like, I don't, like, that's all like real shit that I have to deal with now. And so yeah, that's a trip to have to learn to remind myself of all the time.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, and then lastly, he wants to know, are there any good resources for family members moving moving forward with SRS? Perhaps some educational material that might help them learn how to be supportive without fully understanding.
There are a lot of internet resources out there. Like, if you want to try to find things, you definitely can. There are almost everywhere there are local transgender communities that have, like, you know, materials and stuff. If you search online, you can find things that can help you. There are message boards and communities on the internet that you can talk to other people that are pretty much in the same boat as you. So I mean, if you really want to, you know, like, I would say, if you need a community to help you, that's fine. But like most importantly, like just talk to, like if you're a family member, right, and you're like your son or your daughter is like, you know, transgender, or you have a relative that's like a cousin or something, or anyone that's like in your family or a friend, like talk to them a lot. You know, don't ask them like fucked up questions, but like ask them, you know, questions that are in your mind. Like try to understand through them like what they're going through, because every person's different too. Like they're all going through their own personal struggle. So like, you know, talk to them. It's cool like to talk to other people, like trying to get a community if that's what you need, like a support group around you while you're dealing with it. I understand that it's hard because like you're dealing with basically, like for my parents, they're dealing with the death of Brad. Like basically he is dead. He no longer exists. He's been replaced by me, who's always been there, and this is a funny way of saying it, living in the skin of Brad. And I finally like shucked that off, and now I am like the actual person that I've always been, just hampered by like my physical frame. But you know, you build like this identity of somebody, and that person is pretty much dead. I mean, for the most part, they're going to be into the same things that they're into. So I mean, they're still the same person, but that persona that is technically dead because they're going to pick a new name, they're going to be a new gender, you know, all these things.
Whoops! Wow.
Oh, man.
That
was
dropped
Yeah.
really quick.
Yeah, that wasn't even like we're gonna lag you for a second and then kick you out. That was quick.
Just too intense.
Internet was
So-
just rolling.
Right. Yeah, so I think what Taryn was talking about, like there's stuff out there for family members. I'm sure if you go to a website, you know, just type in like, I don't know, like there's probably conversation topics, like sheets that you can go through with your family that are like questions that you might want to ask them that are easy to answer or, you know, informative to answer.
Google is a great place.
Of course, yeah.
So,
Google's
magic.
life. Yeah, it is. We'll see if we can get her back on here.
Yeah.
So how about that TGS?
Oh, yeah, Tokyo Game Show. How about that? Oh, the Final Fantasy 15 looks so good! I'm driving around in that car. That
Looks pretty.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to play it. A little disappointed there's no playable female characters, but okay.
Really? There's always a
That's
player.
what I heard, or that's what I saw. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's Final Fantasy 13, no lightning stuff, but
God, she has that hair color I want so bad.
I wanna pastel color hair, but
I think we're doing it
tan.
tomorrow.
I want to dye my hair purple. I think I'm gonna do that whenever I move to San Francisco. So
Fun.
excited to meet dark purple. So
Yeah, I think tomorrow we're fixing my roots and then going like all over pastel pink because I've been doing little chunks here and there.
Yeah.
And it fades so quick. It's like you can't even see it. So it's like if it fades that quick, if I do my whole head, then why not?
I know there's some conditioners out there that have like color in it, so it helps if you have a semi-temporary dye. And
The
so it'll help you
purple
keep it up.
conditioner that I use for my blonde, it takes the brassiness out and keeps it like white blonde.
Mhm.
That turns my pink a little more fuchsia,
Mm.
like violet colored, which is really nice though, because it's a nice little change in pace, and then it'll like wash out the next day or so, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I've seen
not
a
bad.
purple. Like I was looking into that because like I do plan on doing my hair all purple, and that takes a lot of upkeep. And there's that one kind of probably similar to what you're looking at or what you use. It's like a purple conditioner that has some
Yeah.
dye in it, and so
Yeah.
it kind of maintains your color. Random.
Yeah, I've got the Joico Violet like shampoo and conditioner. It's so nice. I love it.
Yeah. So.
Did Amanda
Hair.
freeze too?
No,
I'm not frozen.
Oh, okay. I think your
She's-
picture was frozen on mine, and your head was like thrown back. It was really funny. I was like, if she's sitting like that, that's ridiculous.
God, no. I actually had purple hair for a while. Like the front of my hair was purple, and I did it in like the end of high school, and so I just kept that purple, but I really didn't know how to maintain it. So eventually it just turned silver. So I had like rogue hair going on for a while.
Wow.
It was kind of cool.
Like, that's a big problem that like people have they don't know how to use the purple shampoo, and then they keep washing with it every day instead of like once a week. Like I'm a once a week kind of person because I'm super light anyway, but these people that have like super dark hair will wash it every day and it turns silver, and then they come in and they're like, why is my hair silver instead of blonde? Well, it's because you've over shampooed your hair with purple and it sucked out all the color. So and like I know the older ladies will use it and their hair will turn like violet, and that's like a trademark of like older women is their purple hair. It's because they're purple shampoo.
Amanda, didn't you say that Google Hangouts has cool new live features or something?
It's got what features? It's
Live
got like
features?
people can applaud us or something like that. I don't know. I just like clicked really quick because I was trying to get it to launch, but it was like, we have new features, like you can applaud things and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I don't know what it does, and I don't really care right now, but okay.
I'll look into that for next time. Hopefully, yeah, we'll be on regular schedule now. Yay!
Hopefully, yeah, that'll work out. So did you happen to send Taryn another invite just in case?
I'll send her one. Oh, just kidding.
Oh,
I don't have to do
hey!
anything. Yes.
It's not too soon.
This internet today is just not working with us.
No.
We might go over our time just a little bit. I mean, we started late, but we might go over just a little bit because we have some more questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, again, congratulations, Ziggy, on becoming a nurse officially.
Yeah.
I know.
Thank you. So excited.
So-
I almost cried. I was so happy.
Aww.
I'm confused because it's over and I just don't know what to do with myself now. It's like, well,
No,
now there's no more worry, so I don't know what to do.
You can play Destiny. It's fine.
Right?
Oh,
I know. More video games.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great segue.
Taryn, welcome back.
Thanks. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I don't know why it hates me so.
Okay.
That's okay. We're just inserting random nerd things here and there. It's okay.
Okay.
It's like a normal
Okay,
episode.
right.
We're good at just
We
talking
just-
about nothing.
Yeah. We talked
Complete.
about hair color for like 10 minutes. I'm sure the guys of the podcast loved it.
No one has
Um,
left, so we are
no one
okay.
did.
We're either being watched by all women or
Or people who just genuinely like us.
Right?
Those are the
All right.
best.
So
Either way, no.
so those were the last questions from Sean. Nidu sent his question. We all know Nidu. If you guys don't know Nidu, he's at
Hi,
_88 on Twitter. He's fantastic. He's awesome. Writes for Ridiculous Rants or nkrn.org. Excuse me. He has a question. It says, have you had to deal with a lot of barriers socially and professionally throughout your life? How did you overcome them?
Socially, yeah, like, I had to deal with the fact, like, well, it's sort of like, you know, the whole learning to get over what are people thinking when I'm, like, out dressed as, like, basically, like, I'm a dude dressed as a girl, like, what are people thinking? Are they judging me? Like, do they even know that I'm doing this? That, you know, like, so there's that, like, eventually that you get over that. That was something that I struggled with, though, a lot. Professionally, coming out can be quite difficult at times, especially depending on, like, your work environment. And I know with the way things are right now, that can be, like, really difficult to, like, find a new job and stuff like that. So, you know, you definitely, like, I basically, in a blog that I wrote about, you know, I talked about how after, what was it, PAX Prime, I basically had, like, I did a social experiment for, like, living full-time as a woman, like, for 3 days, just to see, like, if I could do it. And then I did it, and it was, like, the best time of my life. And then I came back, and it was just like, well, you either are going to go back to work as Brad and kind of just say, well, you know, fuck everything that you just did, and or you're going to, you know, suck it up and just, like, be who you felt like, you know, like, it's like, wow, I felt like a real person for the first time. Like, why would I give that up? So I made that decision, like, when I went into work, like, the next day I crafted an email. That was really difficult to human resources, and I was just like, hey, this is what's going on with me, and I sent it to my immediate management team, and then from there, you know, I had the option of talking, engaging people one-on-one, and, you know, like, people that wanted to know, they came up, they talked to me. I wasn't really going to go like to each person and just like talk to them about it. I basically was just like, if anyone has questions, just let me know. And so those that wanted to find out, found out. Those that wanted to gossip, they gossiped. The way I looked at it was like out of sight, out of mind. As long as you're not being like, staring at me all the time or whatever, being like super creepy about it, like whatever, kind of, water down my backside. Like I didn't really care. And, maybe that's a product of me waiting a while and then sort of like finally accepting it. But I don't know. I was lucky that I did have a pretty like I've always had like a good support group around me that's been pretty understanding. So if you have that, definitely utilize that. Or but it hasn't been that hard. There have been like things, but a lot of the things that I've had to get to were just like internal barriers and not caring so much about what other people think for me, and like learning to live for myself rather than being afraid of what people might say about me behind my back or even to my face, whatever. Hope that answers his question. Hope that answers your question, Nidu.
Okay. Another question. So those were all of our submitted questions. So I've got a bunch here that we have. We already got that one.
While you're looking, I'm going to vamp. Just so any of you watching know, and I don't even know if any of you girls have ever heard me talk, unlike this. This, what you're hearing right now, has been like about a year of practice, because with like female to males, like they take the testosterone, it actually drops their voice. But like male to female, if you've gone through puberty already and your larynx has changed and thus it changes the way you resonate and stuff like that, and your voice drops down. Like taking estrogen doesn't make it go back up. Like you have to basically force your voice into a different like range, I guess. So
they have a different tone, like kind of, yeah.
You're in like a totally different vocal range and resonance. So in case you're curious, hold on a second. This is what I normally sound like. Like this is like me talking normal if I'm not trying to sound like how I like to sound now, which might be a trip for people. But yeah, this is like, so if I like do karaoke and stuff or something like that, like this is like where I would be singing, because this is like my normal vocal range, and that's why like my tweet. Hold on a second. I don't want. So that's like when I tweeted about like how I have like this weird desire to go sing karaoke and like belt out like these songs, because that's the voice I'm going to be singing in, is like that much lower voice, and people are gonna, like at first probably gonna be like, well, this chick sounds like a dude, and then they'll be like, oh, it. Yeah, so I have like this weird like desire to go like sing karaoke and just be like the weirdo, just belting out like these like belting out these in my like normal voice. So yeah, that's a weird thing I have.
So we actually kind of pretty much hit most of these.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the most part, like you generally kind of answered all of them. Oh, so here's that one. Does it feel like anyone ever wants to just talk about this? Like when they first meet you and they find out like about you, is this just like all they want to talk about? Or do mostly people just, hear it and then move on?
It's kind of person to person. Some people take an interest in it. Usually it comes like the ones that I'm willing to talk a lot to about it, like it comes from a place of like genuine like curiosity, and they usually ask really respectful questions, so I don't mind talking about it. Eventually though, like we always get like it gets past that, but some people are like really interested, other people not so much. Some people don't even know, which is always a plus for me, because I'm like, oh yeah, wow, like you didn't read me like off my voice, so it shows me that like my practice in sounding girly is definitely paying off. So yeah, like when I was at PAX and it was a lot more obvious that I was like a dude dressed as a girl, I didn't even really have many people that gave me any, like, I don't know anyone that gave me shit. Like, people struggled with pronouns, but that's not even a problem anymore because everyone just, if they don't know me, they just assume I'm a girl anyway. So, yeah, it's kind of neat. If I bring it up, like, so normally now I have to bring that up and just, like, it's like, oh, hey, I have to be honest with you, like, this is what's going on. And for the most part, it's not that long that I'm talking about it, so it's kind of cool. That like it's not something that like defines me lately, which is nice. I don't know. I'm so open about it these days, though. Like if people want to talk about it, I don't have a problem talking about it, though. So there is that.
Awesome. Okay. Girls, do you have any other questions? Do you want to put in there?
No,
No.
I first covered everything.
Okay. So Taryn, your GoFundMe. The link.
The URL. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I don't know
Whatever.
off the top of my
Internet lingo. So we'll be tweeting it out. We'll be Facebooking it out. If you follow us on Twitter at Lipstick Nerds, if you like our Facebook page, you'll be able to find it and see it. So we'll definitely be tweeting it out because I think it's one of those like word jumbles at the very end of the URL, right?
I think so. I'm searching for myself right now. It's kind of weird.
I think you can just do like a Google search GoFundMe Taryn, and it should
Yeah.
pop up as like, the first ones because that's what I did. So if you want to donate to her cause, go there, follow us. We'll be blabbing about it constantly. All right. Some aggressive typing over there.
It's yeah, there I am. Yeah. So yeah, right now I'm at like $1,310. Thank you if you have donated. I know you, a lot of like Nikki. I know you have.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for donating. Like it means the world to me. And I know I've tweeted this out and I've posted about it, but like it really, like the first day when it was just sort of like this overwhelming. Oh, by the way, the URL is gofundme.com/D like Delta 9E like Echo K like Kilo 0 W like whiskey. I was literally like bawling my little eyes out just because I'm a huge crybaby now to begin with because of the hormones and stuff. I cry a lot more now, which is cool, I guess. I go through a lot more Kleenex. But I was like just bawling my eyes out, like just overwhelmed by like the support that I was getting from, you know, like these people that a lot of them like I'd never met like personally and stuff like that, and you know it was so cool and extremely humbling. Like I can't thank any of you that donated enough. Like it means the world to me. Even, you know, those of you that didn't have the ability to donate but retweeted, like it means so much to me. Like I can't thank you enough. Like from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for trying to help me out. Like this has been like a really stressful time for me, and I just want to say thank you 1,000 times. Thank you for helping and cheering me on, believing in me, and wanting me to kind of achieve this, because this is like the last hurdle. So I'm just trying to get through this. So thank you so much. It really means the world to me.
And don't forget, every dollar counts. Like, I mean, if that's all you have to give, we appreciate it. Because I mean, I want to help you out. So that's our show. As always, you can find us on the internet. Taryn, where can we find you on the internet?
Wow. Now you can find me at my blog, which is intransit74.com/WP. You can also find me on Twitter at intransit74, and I sometimes moonlight as a writer on levelsafe.com. So.
All right, Amanda.
As usual, you can find me pretty much anywhere at Wake Up Paramore, and I am always working for as the community manager for Pulp 365, so you can find me there hosting contests and just chatting with people.
Awesome. And Miranda.
Hi, you can find me
Hi.
at Havoc Rose.
Hi.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, Havoc Rose, Havoc with a K. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere.
K for klepto?
Huh?
K for klepto?
No?
Yes.
Wow.
Havoc with a K for Klepto. Love it.
It was
Love
stolen.
it.
And
That has officially been Miranda's new
No.
intro.
K for being cool with a K. I was young, and I thought it looked cooler than the C.
Oh, okay, Sniper.
It's for the aesthetics. It looks nice, okay?
It does
Anyway,
look nice. It does.
it's better than the C. Anyway, so Havoc Rose, Havoc with a K. And I also write news and reviews for IGN, do freelance work for them, so you can check me out there.
Awesome. And you can find me at HarleyQuinn103 on Twitter, Instagram, PSN, probably anywhere else you want to find me somewhere. I don't know. I'm on every week on the Ridiculous Trans podcast, and I'm also kind of their community manager. You can always find us at Lipstick Nerds on Twitter. You can like our Facebook page, send us questions to lipsticknerdsmlg@gmail.com. And we try to come together every other Monday. We've been slacking. We've been busy. We have lives. So try and join us in 2 weeks if we can get ourselves up for it for another episode. This has been our very, very special episode all about Taryn. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much
guys.
for having me.
Bye.
Thanks, bye!